podcast is being brought to you by Don Johnson State Farm Insurance. Activate Don in your life and experience the impact. Why? Because Don Johnson is a visionary. She's determined, people-focused, a problem solver, and she's generous. Visit donjohnson.net and donjohnsoncares.com to learn more about her work with the people and the community. Does Don Johnson do too much? Maybe, but that's just Dawn. She loves the people and she is a change agent. So make sure you stop by Don Johnson State Farm Insurance, located at Rock Hills, Manchester Village, off of Dave Loud Boulevard, 572 John Ross Parkway, Suite 106, directly across from TJ Maxx and in between Sweet Frog and the UPS store. And don't forget to tell them Mr. Darkeye sent you. What it is, great people. The home of motivation. To trust God and live your dreams. All right, what it is, great people, you know who it is. I am Mr. Darkeye. You tuned in to the Mr. Darkeye Podcast, New Soul Music, the home of motivation to trust God and live your dreams. And if you've been keeping up with the series, we've been catching up with B.E.L.L. Prize participants from 2019. And we have been, catching up with everybody as far as how their businesses have been going and ultimately seeing where they are now and what's next. And for those of you who don't know, B.E.L.L. stands for Black Entrepreneur Leadership League. It's an organization out of Rock Hill that's helping entrepreneurs and up-and-coming aspiring entrepreneurs and business owners to get started, and then also to give you sustainable support moving forward with your businesses. And they have a great connection with other resources in the community as well to also lend a helping hand. So make sure you connect with B.E.L.L. because definitely they are a resource for success. Definitely. So sitting beside me right now in the studio, I got Eric Brown. What's up, man?
Not too much. Can't complain, man.
Hey, that's what's up, brother, man. I'm glad you're here.
Definitely. Appreciate you inviting me.
Yeah, no doubt, man. So for those of you, for everybody out there that don't know you and what you do, tell the people who is Eric Brown and what's your business.
All right, so I'm Eric Brown. I'm a local saxophonist. You might have heard me. You might have seen me playing around town sometimes. I play at a lot of private events. I play for the Rock Hill Blues and Jazz Festival. And my business is actually Notes Music Factory. It's a concept that I had. We're actually getting an idea of it starts around music education. So that's the whole concept of it. And I don't know if you want to go into that a little bit more now or later.
Oh yeah. You can go into some details of. You say name your business is called
Notes Music Factory.
Notes Music Factory.
Definitely.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what's the overall business model of Notes Music Factory? So
the idea actually starts around music education and lessons. So in general, and I've been playing saxophone since I was 10. And a lot of times what happens is you can actually, especially once you get out of school, you'll sit at home and play the saxophone or play whatever your instrument is, but you're not doing anything with it. And that actually goes for not only like adults, but that goes for kids as well. So what I found out over the years is that musical performance is a different beast. I mean, it's not like being in the house all the time.
Right.
There are so many things that can happen around going outside, performing, such as nerves, such as equipment, timing. There's so many things, and so you actually. But learning to play an instrument is one thing, but actually becoming a professional at performing is another thing.
Right.
So my idea is actually getting lessons done and actually tying around performance in that. So I would actually have the idea of actually getting musical students in of all ages and finding opportunities for them to perform and actually strengthen their performance levels. So that's just kind of like the base of it, but I also just combine it with like just people like yourself, just combining music of different genres and actually just creating more of a musical just situation in Rock Hill in general.
Absolutely.
Just having that out there.
So the main focus is helping them understand that there's a difference between learning to play the instrument and then actually having a performance.
Exactly.
And understanding what to do in that aspect, because I can relate, being in the music industry myself, and, especially when you talk about the difference between recording in the studio versus actually performing the song live on stage, totally different worlds. And if you got somebody who can come in and educate you and show you the difference between that versus learning a play the instrument and then actually getting on stage and performing it. Because, it got me thinking about like people like Prince or somebody, who's amazing guitarist and being able to get on stage and do what he do so effortlessly. But that's a whole different situation from just learning how to do it. Because some of that stuff is just pure gift.
Exactly.
You just kind of just go in and just be amazing at it.
I'll tell you, I've made some major mistakes performing, but a lot of times no one knows but me because you actually figure out part. Like don't just stop playing, just keep going. Figure out a way to kind of tie that in some kind of way to make it make sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So you was a part of the B.E.L.L. Prize. Well, when we did it, it was called B.E.L.L. X Prize, but it's B.E.L.L. Prize now, 2019. What was how did you hear about B.E.L.L. and what made you want to get involved?
It's funny. Things happen for a reason, and I was actually working my job, and I actually had a week off. It was actually a forced week off because I was on a contract, and like sometimes what they do is at the end of a contract, you have to take a time off before they start you back again. So I was actually off for a couple of weeks, and I just saw this commercial came on. I don't remember. I can't remember if it was on TV, probably on the internet somewhere. But I actually just saw the advertisement for that commercial, and I was like, man, that looks like a good idea. I was a little bit reluctant in getting involved with my wife. She's like, try it. So that's what we did. I went and tried it, and I don't regret it.
Hey, that right there. I mean, that's a story. What was those college commercials? It was like IT or something. Where you sitting on, the dude was talking to you and you sitting on the couch. You're like, what you doing? You're wasting your time. Get out and try it. Exactly. Go to college. It made me think about that when you was telling that story.
Exactly.
But that's amazing, and that's just goes to show you that you was meant to see that, and that was supposed to happen that way. So when you got involved, like what was the biggest thing that got your attention about the program, and what did you feel like you learned the most from it that was the most impactful?
I think the biggest thing that actually attracted me to it was just the learning. I mean, I saw that there was a prize at the time, but I actually wanted to learn because I had always had the idea of music, doing something beyond playing in my head. And just looking at the people that were involved seemed really genuine. And I just thought it was a good idea. I was like, this is just perfect timing, for perfect experience for me. It just made sense for me.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, I know for me, the business model canvas was a game changer for me. It was a way for me to see my business as I wrote down all of the different pieces to it and to see what adjustments I needed to make. And it was very impactful and a game changer for me. What was that thing that was a game changer for you?
I think one of the biggest things that was just really big for me is actually just kind of, probably I would say learning how to fail.
Learning how to fail?
Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah, learning how to be prepared because COVID taught us something.
It did.
And I can definitely get that a little bit more, but just kind of learning how can you operate a business in tough times. And that actually really, out of all the lessons, there were a lot of lessons I learned about building it, but that's something that really stuck with me.
Wow. That's very impactful. You know what I'm saying? Because when you think about people want to learn how to succeed, but it's just important to learn how to fail. And a lot of times you hear people say, if you're going to fail fast, get straight to it. So now that you learn what you need to do, you can get past that. And then there's an elevation in your vision in your business. That's amazing, man. Exactly. So where are you at right now with your business?
Well, it's interesting. I say learning how to fail just now, but what happened with me is not necessarily a failure, but I didn't necessarily get started like I wanted to. So as it does it with all of us, life happens. So shortly after that, after the competition, we got COVID, which was a shared experience. And over the course of those years, I was like, well, I can't. It's probably a terrible time for me to kind of really get going right now. I'm friends with a lot of musicians, and around that time, a lot of musicians didn't have gigs. I know a lot of guys just actually had to go into other businesses and figure out other ways to make money. So that's actually why I started sitting back thinking to myself, what would I do if I actually had notes up and running? How would I handle this? And thought about things like saving, thought about incorporation and integrating things like the Zoom video calls and lessons and things of that sort in there. So that was actually really helpful. And so I had two more life things that happened after that. I had a son that was born in 2021.
Yeah.
And then last year was toughest year of it all. I actually had my daughter. She was born with a heart defect.
Wow.
And we actually had to have a transplant last year. So we were pretty much in the hospital all summer. That took up the entire year. So I didn't really get a lot of planning done at all. So it was just kind of in the back burner. I mean, it's always still in my head, but there's just something I really couldn't really like put my hands on lately.
Right.
Which on a side note, something that great came from that. My wife, she did B.E.L.L with me. She was kind of my partner in there. And out of that, she partnered with MUSC. She's actually building a scholarship that we're going to give back to the medical community, Nyla's Heart Foundation, so that they can actually support some of the minorities that are coming up in the medical field. But back to my part, music. So what I've started doing again is like, it's time to go again. She's out. She's doing well. My son's, he's 2, but it's not quite as much as crazy as it was a couple of years ago. So now what I'm trying to do is just kind of start back by building, and I'm starting again with lessons. I was getting some lessons; those had to go off during everything, but now I'm starting to do lessons again, and to kind of building around the lessons. In addition to the lessons, actually reaching out, finding other musicians that can actually help me. Like if I don't play trumpet, trombone, or whatever, but I would love to find other people that can actually do that to give lessons, and we kind of get together and just kind of build.
Absolutely,
so that's where we're at now. We're starting to kind of get the train off the track again. It paused, but it's not over.
Not at all.
But and like I said, a lot of the things that B.E.L.L taught me, they stuck with me during that time period. So I'm kind of ready to kind of start putting those to use.
Absolutely, man. Well, it's great to see you still doing it, and congratulations on your the extension of your family with your son being born and everything. And we give God the glory for all of the things that you was able to endure and get over and everything. And your family is blessed and doing well now. Man, that's amazing. Are you still doing the private the private gigs or like when people want to book you for events and stuff like that?
Definitely, yeah. Actually, as a matter of fact, I have one on the 16th. I'm doing a lot of private gigs and pretty much anything around the city. I'm kind of starting off a little bit slower this year because I've got so much going on, so I'm not trying to overbook myself. But I'm definitely open for it. As long as they fit in, I'm definitely still there for it.
Well, y'all heard it. If y'all want Eric to come through and play the sax at your birthday parties, weddings, whatever the event is, definitely reach out to him. And, and I'm sure you will be satisfied with the services because the man is talented, definitely talented, man. Well, we definitely are wishing you much, much more success, man, in everything that you're doing. And I know, your gift going to continue to make room for you, continue to trust God, live your dreams. Definitely. Thank you for coming.
Appreciate it.
Sharing your story, man. And for you all watching, again, make sure you reach out if you want to connect with B.E.L.L, Black Entrepreneur Leadership League, to get involved and to help you live your dreams and trust God to be successful at all that you do. And just know that, we doing it, you can do it too. So thank y'all for listening. Thank you for watching. This has been the Mista Darkeye Podcast. We going to continue with the series of catching up with B.E.L.L Prize participants, so stay tuned for more. Until next time, we are out. Continue to trust God and live your dreams. What it is, great people. The home of motivation to trust God and live your dreams.